Welcome to Story Time with Mr. Adam. I'm so glad to be with you today. Thank you for watching this as we think about interesting books and yet books that tie into the Bible and lessons that we can learn about God and about serving Him and doing what He wants us to do. Today I have an interesting book for you. It's called Miggy and Tiggy, and it's a book about overcoming jealousy. You know something about jealousy? Well, today we're going to give that some thought, all right? So we have Miggy and Tiggy. All right, let's see what this book has to say about these two young boys. Tiggy just got a new puppy. It was hoppy and floppy and fun. He played with it under the shade tree. It could rumpus and wrestle and run. Miggy watched from his treehouse. All he had was a cat. He'd always wanted a puppy like Tiggy's, in fact. Tiggy could see Miggy watching. It added a lot to his fun. Miggy was soon very angry. He shouted, "Your puppy is ugly!" At night, Tiggy took out his puppy and walked him around on a rope. Miggy said, "Hey, can I pet him?" Tiggy just smiled and said, "Nope." Tiggy was proud of his puppy. He dressed it all up in old clothes. He pulled it around in a wagon, going wherever he chose. "Get off my lawn," shouted Miggy. "I'll feed your ugly dog to my cat." "Ha!" snickered Tiggy at Miggy. "I'd sure like to see that." The more Miggy watched Tiggy's puppy, the more and more angry he grew. At night time, he lay awake thinking of mean things he wanted to do. There were hundreds of things Miggy thought of, all of them nasty and mean. But suddenly one idea hit him, a trick that was clever and keen. He got out of bed with his flashlight and snuck out as soft as a mouse. He climbed across the fence to the puppy who was tied up inside his house. "Here, little puppy," called Miggy. He untied the rope from the pup. "You're free, little doggy," he giggled. "So run away. Go. Giddy up." Miggy was snickering softly as Puppy ran off in the night, but just then the dog saw his kitty and thought it looked like a good bite. Puppy ran after the kitty. He barked and he howled as he ran, and Miggy ran quickly behind them. This wasn't part of the plan. The noises awoke all the neighbors, and Tiggy ran out onto the street. He just caught a glimpse of his puppy running behind Kitty's feet. "You untied my puppy," yelled Tiggy. He ran up to Miggy to fight. "You shouldn't have teased me," said Miggy. "I think this serves you right." That doesn't look good, does it? The two boys had just started scraping when both of their fathers ran out. They pulled the boys off each other and shouted, "Now, boys, cut it out!" "Miggy just untied my puppy," said Tiggy, beginning to cry. "Tiggy was teasing me, Daddy," said Miggy, who had a black eye. Their fathers both looked at them sadly. The problem was quite clear to see. It's something that everyone knows of. It's something we call jealousy. "See what you've done," said their fathers. "Tiggy, you've been very mean. You wanted to make Miggy jealous. It worked very well, you can see. But Miggy, lad, you've been unthankful, for you have a pet of your own. You chose to get jealous of Tiggy, while you had a kitten at home." Miggy and Tiggy felt bad now. Both were to blame for their fight. "I'm sorry," they said to each other. "We'll be friends, and starting tonight." And now it was late in the nighttime. Their pets simply were not around. Their dads told them, "Look in the morning. We're sure that your pets will be found." Early the very next morning, Miggy and Tiggy got up. They got on their bikes and went riding, looking for Kitty and Pup. Miggy and Tiggy made posters and put them on trees by the road. But no one had found Pup or Kitty, just turtles, a rat, and a toad. Later they went to the dog pound, hoping their pets would be there. One puppy looked just like Tiggy's, except it had a bow in its hair. Miggy and Tiggy were sad now. Kitty and Puppy were gone. They gave up and sat by a shade tree, skipping flat rocks in a pond. Miggy had just started crying when suddenly he got a plan. "Wait here," he shouted to Tiggy, and off down the street Miggy ran. Tiggy just sat for a moment, thinking of what he might do. Then all of a sudden, he jumped up, for he had a clever plan too. Only a few moments later, Miggy and Tiggy came back. Miggy was holding a package, and Tiggy was holding a sack. "Here's a present," said Miggy, handing the box to his friend. "I got one for you too," said Tiggy. "Now, this is a nice way to end." Then Tiggy opened his present. What do you think Tiggy found? My, if it wasn't that puppy, the one that they'd seen at the pound. Tiggy said, "Thanks a lot, Miggy. It's your turn to open your sack." Out of the bag jumped a kitten. It pushed Miggy down on his back. "Oh, thank you," said Miggy to Tiggy. "It looks like we had the same plan. I think we should both make a promise. Let's never get jealous again." They carried the new cat and puppy home to show Mother and Pop, but something they saw by the doghouse made the boys suddenly stop. Guess who was there by the shade tree, napping like nothing was wrong? Kitty and Puppy. You guessed it. They'd been in the yard all along. Now you'll find Miggy and Tiggy, each with a dog and a cat. They play, but they never get jealous. And you know the reason for that. Jealousy it's mean, isn't it? It's not nice. It's not at all the way that God wants us to be. And Miggy and Tiggy had to find that out the hard way, and sometimes we do too. But that reminds me of a Bible story with some brothers who got very jealous of their youngest brother or younger brother. And I want to read this little book about Joseph. Did you think about Joseph and his jealous brothers? Well, this book tells us that that's exactly the attitude that they had toward Joseph. And so let's read this book together, and then we'll be done for today, okay? God was with Joseph. Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. Jacob gave him a beautiful robe to wear. This made Joseph's brothers jealous. Joseph had strange and fantastic dreams, but God was with Joseph. God helped Joseph understand his dreams. The dreams made his brothers even more jealous. And one day, Joseph went out to his brothers in the field. Joseph's brothers saw Joseph coming from a distance. "Let's get rid of the little dreamer," the brothers said to themselves. They took his beautiful coat and they planned to kill him. Just then, a caravan of traders came passing by. The brothers decided to sell Joseph as a slave, so Joseph was taken away from his home. It was terrible to be taken away from home, but God was with Joseph. Joseph became a servant in the house of a man named Potiphar. God blessed Joseph so that he succeeded at everything he did. Soon Joseph became the most important, most trusted servant in his house. But one day, Potiphar's wife lied to her husband about Joseph, and Joseph was thrown into prison. But God was still with Joseph, even in prison. The prison warden soon trusted Joseph. He put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners. Joseph once again used his special gift from God, and he explained a dream for a servant of Pharaoh. And Joseph said, "When you leave prison and are serving the king again, remember me." But the servant forgot about Joseph. Years later, Pharaoh had a strange dream. It was a strange dream, wasn't it? He dreamed that 7 skinny cows ate 7 fat cows grazing at the river. And Pharaoh wondered what his dream meant. And at last, Pharaoh's servant remembered Joseph in prison. God helped Joseph explain Pharaoh's dream. The fat cows meant that there would be 7 good years when crops would grow. But the skinny cows meant that there would be 7 years of famine that would destroy the land. Pharaoh was pleased with Joseph's wisdom. He put Joseph in charge of the entire land. Only Pharaoh himself ranked higher than Joseph. Joseph stored the crops during the good years, and then when the bad years came, Joseph sold that stored up food to all the hungry people. One day, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt. The famine had reached their land, and they wanted to buy food. Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not know him. Joseph gave them grain. He even shared a meal with them. They still did not know him. Finally, he told his family, "It's me, Joseph." Soon Joseph's father Jacob also came to Egypt. He was overjoyed to see Joseph again. Joseph forgave his brothers. He said, "God was with me. He brought me here so I could save many people. What you did, God used for good." Now, those brothers of Joseph were wrong, weren't they? They got jealous of their brother, and they thought to do him a lot of harm, and they could have done him a lot of harm, but God was with him, and that's what we need to remember always about the life of Joseph. But as we think about Joseph's brothers, and as we think about Miggy and Tiggy, we need to remember that it is never okay to be filled with jealousy. It's never okay to want so badly what other people have that we would hurt them or try to destroy what they have so that we can have it. It's also not right to be like Miggy, or the one that had the puppy. It's not right to try to make fun or show off and brag about things that you have that other people don't have. That doesn't make God happy either, does it? So today, as you go about the rest of your time, I want you to think about jealousy. I want you to be happy when other people might have things that you wish you had, but they have them. And I want you not to cause other people to be jealous of the things that you have that they might want. This is how we make God happy. He says we are loving when we don't show jealousy. All right? And so think about that through the rest of your day. And I'll look forward, Lord willing, to seeing you next time. All right? Be good and have a great day. Bye-bye.